gets Deenanath, slobbers all over dancing girl Anokhi, even anointing her Anokhi Devi before he dunks her. Casey Bukadia begins with kicking up a royal fuss that Anokhi Devi has gone missing. Perhaps she's even dead, and the Chief Minister is forced to bring the CBI in. Upright Officer Mishra
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, Edureka. Welcome back to your last day of Amazon Web Service journey. I'm your trainer Tarun, and I hope you all are doing great thing. So till now, we had a little ups and down rides. Some were filled with a lot of tip down sessions, some were filled with the overview, some were the technical architects, and all the sessions we covered over there. And I hope you all are enjoying till now and had a wonderful journey. today being the last day, so let's conquer how we can go to the achieve the last milestone for our Amazon Web Service. But as always, before I move on, any questions or doubts from your end? Any questions or doubts? Okay, I believe no more questions, so we can start. Yesterday we left at the security part where we wanted to discuss more about the security best practices of Amazon. So now yesterday we saw a lot of aspect of the Amazon. We first started with the Amazon account and we saw the Amazon calculator, economics, then we saw the consolidated billing concept also. Then we did how do you achieve the high availability and disaster recovery, what are the standards scaling algorithms you should follow, what are the best practices you need to follow when you're designing with Amazon. So we discussed about a multiple aspects yesterday, and today, now we will, whatever the pending from yesterday, we'll first go to the security. How do you achieve the security with Amazon Web Services? And if you want to refer to security, I would say the two things which you would always follow is one is a Amazon security bulletin. You can go to that, and even you can subscribe to that part also. There would be a blogs you can subscribe. You keep on getting the new updates from the Amazon security group. And the most important part would be you should go and read the white paper at this level. There is a very nice white paper given by Amazon. You must go through that. Now sometimes you are required to perform penetration and hardening testing. I'm not sure how many of you are aware about this. See, in the penetration and hardening is more about your firewall routes verifications. And penetration is more like your DDoS kind of an attack. See, hardening you can do manually by making a security group and decide all the rules, everything. In the penetration part, what you need to do here is just ensure that you penetrate it rightly. I mean, you perform a DDoS attack. Now, Amazon takes care of all your infrastructure, and when there is a DDoS attack, it would block those IPs also. So in case if you're trying to perform a DDoS attack from a single IP, Amazon would block that IP for you always. So how do you overcome in this kind of a challenging scenario? See, one of the case would be Amazon provides, go to this link, penetration testing, you go and request Amazon that you want to perform a penetration testing. Amazon would ask for certain kind of IP address and all that. You need to provide that from which IP you perform all this. Once you provide all this IP address, Amazon would give you a certain time slot. In that time slot, you can perform this penetration testing to ensure that Amazon does not block your IP. Also, whenever you have to send the cloud credential to someone, you must encrypt that. You must encrypt that. That is very important. This Windows Server password, now when you go for that, is only generated first time. So you need to remember that. See, when you recover the Windows password from your key file, and now you go inside and change the password, some of the password would be bundled when you create an AMI also. You need to think all those aspects, because if you bundle something, it may happen your keys may get bundled with that, your ID may get bundled with that. So you need to remember that when I'm going to create an AMI and if I'm going to make it public, I should be careful before giving it to everyone. Same way, do not use any third-party tools as much as possible unless you trust them. See, I was speaking about multiple times the various tools, like I talk about you can use the REST APIs, the Chef and Puppet, or you can use the Mozilla Firefox and the S3 Fox, and in the Firefox you can use the Elastic Fox and all that. Now there might be some trusted, there might not be some trusted. Why do you worry about this? In this case, because you are storing your access key and secret access key, or you are giving that access key, secret access key to a third-party vendor. Now if you don't trust them, or it's not a well-known name, it can be a challenging position. If you think that no, this is a trusted, but still you can achieve one thing, that what kind of actions they are going to perform. For example, Elastic Fox only performs the EC2 specific actions, just an example. Then make an IAM user and give that Elastic Box credentials the IAM user's credentials. Or there is a backup utility available called the N2WS. Right, so when you want to go for that, you should ensure that, okay, whenever I am going to take the, give them, I'll just give him the EC2 or the EBS backup permission, not anything else. There would be a multiple, same way for the right scale when you want to define what kind of action are you going to work with the right scale. Only create IAM user as per that. Or you create, if you want everything, you create a certain kind of a user who would have that permission. But don't use your admin or root account access key and secret access key with the third-party tools. When you're managing IAM users, use the group level permissions policies instead of making it for individual users. You can disable the root or admin account also with this in Linux AMIs, and then you just enable the sudo part. When you are working with the security groups, you should only open for the selected ports, not for everyone. And we all know that, but because that's a very easy thing to do. When you are going for a security group, you open for 0.0.0.0/0. That means you are opening for everyone, which is a wrong thing. You shouldn't do this. You should generally open for a single IP only. And I'll tell you one of my experience. One of my friend, he opened for so many things. He opened the port for 0.0.0.0/0. And even in some cases, he was so intelligent. He said port number 0265536 for all this IP range. That means you have given your complete property to the world. I am ready to donate. Are you ready to grab from me? Right? That's the one of the challenging thing you must follow. And to tell you what happened to that friend in that case, he opened all the ports. His security was compromised. There are hackers around the world who would keep pinging across the various IPs and the various ports and all that. They got into his account somehow. Account means the instance, and then they bypassed their complete traffic through that instance. Now the result was, this thing happened on around Friday noon, Friday evening. When he came back on Monday, he got an alert saying there is an increment of $800. Yes, I'm talking the right amount. $800 in his billing. And he was shocked. What did I do in just 2 days that my usage just increased by $800? When he went inside, he found there was almost 8,000 to 10,000 gigabytes. Yes, I am talking 8,000 gigabytes plus data transfer happened from his account. So Amazon charges you for the IO, and that caused this charge. So you have to be very selective in this case. Yeah. On the side note, Amazon is generous enough. They give him the vouchers. They credited back this amount, considering this is the first time error. They okay. But Amazon is not generous enough every time, right? You have to be careful. And the Amazon's mantra for security is a shared responsibility. You are as much responsible as Amazon is too. Amazon gives all the configurations, all the things. They say, okay, use cloud HSM, use the IAM, use multi-factor authentication, use the security group, use key pair. You use everything. Don't open the ports. Now, if you don't do it, how can you blame Amazon? Correct? It's a shared security responsibility. When you are starting an instance something, do not open all the network services on start. If you know some of them require, open that, but don't open all. Same issue here also. Delete all the Amazon credentials from disk and configuration files when you are done. Remember, you have your keys and everything stored in your instance, and somebody bundles it, it may pass with that. For Windows, you can also ensure that guest account is disabled, else someone will be able to log into your account. Ensure that software installed on AMI does not have the default internet account and password. And that happened with one of my friends. He was using Tomcat on his instance. Now on his Tomcat, which was running on port 8080, which is a standard Tomcat, there is an admin account. With each Tomcat there comes an admin account. Now for that admin account, we would have a default username and password. To his horror, he did not change that. Now somebody just tried pinging, he found out that okay, this is the IP address. Then he deployed his application using those admin, and he was doing again same IO, huge IO happened from his account. So these are very minor things, but you need to understand all this aspect when you are designing and implementing security. Always plan for disaster recovery and BCP. We talk about that disaster recovery, how to achieve with Amazon before. Develop a data retention and destruction policy. When you don't want to use it, how would you delete this? Monitor all the logs files. You must do that. And Amazon provides a very good service called CloudTrail, which gives you monitoring of all Amazon resources. So somebody has logged into Amazon account, he started an account instance, he stopped instance, everything would be available to you. So CloudTrail also you can use that. Now this is just an example how the security would look like. So this is a server, you should apply security at each and every layer. So it should look something like this where you are applying it each and every layer of the security. Just a second. Now, these are some more important points. One more. When you're talking about the security, use the IAM roles. Use the IAM roles. We talk about that. Now, I'll tell you the story. Go to Google and search murder in the cloud. Yes, it's not a Hollywood movie. It's a real life scenario happened with the code spaces. To their misfortune, they bundle out their AIM access key with the instance, or somehow a hacker got the control of the code space Amazon account. Now code space was completely reliant on Amazon only. Now in this case, what happened? That hacker asked for certain ransom, and before this guy could do something correct, they initially did not take him seriously and they tried to fix other things. The hacker was smart enough, he deleted all the instances. You would say, okay, instances are terminated and I do have a backup with the AMIs. He deleted all the AMIs. You say, it's okay, AMIs are deleted and I do have a backup with the snapshot. He deleted all the snapshot also. So now, not only all your data, but all your backup is also gone. That's a scary thing. You're completely out on the road. You have nothing available now. Murder in the cloud. And the hacker killed the code space almost. Now code space is back. I'm not sure whether they're still on Amazon or where. But that is the case. So you need to take care of all these aspects. Use the multi-factor authentication in this scenario. It would be so helpful. For the cost optimization, you should terminate the instance. You should stop it when you are not using it and start again when you want to use it. So this is now after security, we are moving to the cost. How do I optimize my cost? So we talk about all the security. And before I go ahead, sorry, I should have asked, any questions till now? Any doubts or questions? Okay, now moving to the cost optimization part. How do you optimize the cost? So first, you should terminate the instance when you are not going to use it, because that keeps incurring cost. Same is the case when you should stop the instance also. In some case, if you want, you want the instance to be running, and if some minor downtime is allowed, you should stop it, change the instance type to micro or something, and then start it back. When you don't want certain snapshot of volume, you should remove them. you should use the EBS like AMI as much as possible. It's faster, easy to make AMI, and you can stop to save the money also. But that may cost a little bit on the EBS side, so you need to make a call. Now, when you're not thinking to use the instance for a few months or some time, you can also make an AMI and then let go the everything, terminate the instance, then relaunch the instance from the AMI. If you're launching multiple instances, always use the internal IP for the communication among each other. If it's only for the testing and temporarily used micro or small instance. If you're not using any instance for the whole day, but just for a few hours, use the EBS back and then stop the instance. Release the elastic IP. So yesterday somebody asked me, he had a few charge around 80 cents or something like that because he had the elastic IP over there. Elastic IP charges you around 12 cents per day when it is not in use. So in 5 days, 6 days, you would be anyway having $70 something, 70 cents some kind of a charge. If you are creating EBS, then create for the size you are going to use it. Now, it's a little important point to note. When you create an EBS of the 50 gigabyte size, and you are going to use only 5 gigabytes for the next year, Amazon would still charging you for the rest of the 45. Now, only challenge with this is when you want to do the from 5 to the 50, you have to either attach a new volume, additional volume rather, or you stop the instance and change the size, which you will show today. But you need to make a call all this. What is more important, the cost or the seamless working? When you make a call, you can do the right decision at that time. You should check your account activity very regularly. And I showed you that yesterday. Go to awsamazon.com account, show your billing and everything. If you just want to use Amazon Cloud for R&D, you can also use the spot instance also. If you are planning to use Amazon for continuously for more than 7 to 8 months, try with the reserved instance. We talk about the how easy and how optimal to use the reserved instance to optimize the pricing. Understand that the data transfer rate between the instance of different regions is higher than that of instance between one region. So inter-region and intra-region charges. Transferring within same availability zones is free of the cost when you communicate over the internal IP. So those are the important points you need to know. Now use Glacier for the long-term storage. You might have a certain data available which you for this data which you are not going to use for longer purpose in S3 like your log files and all that, you should archive them. Sometimes higher IOPS may be cost effective than the standard of striping of the volumes, or in some of the cases the general purpose volume is more performance oriented than the PIOPS volumes. You need to make a call here. Use the S3 lifecycle rules which can move to the Glacier or which can delete the old objects. When you have non-mission critical objects, you can use the RRS also. Do not provision your high storage with the RDS only, but you can always increase with that. Yeah, same concept we talked about the EBS before, you can use here also. Use the CloudFront. You may think it's costing me more, but overall it's reducing the cost on the EC2 CPU, and you may not need to launch multiple ECU with that, EC2 CPUs with that. The most important factor is use the CloudWatch billing reminder. You must do that. How many of you have not done this? How many of you have not done this? Or should I ask, how many of you have done this before? Have you created billing reminder? I know about Muthu, but what about others? It's very important, and I am keep on talking about this almost since day 3, and I request again everyone, please do this. Sometimes you may be charged which you may not be aware of. So do this. Okay, so this is all about the best practices on security and the price. Any questions till now? Any questions till now? Perfect. Let's move to the next part. Now this is a very interesting part. Sorry, this is we already covered, so let me finish this. Consolidated billing, we talked about that yesterday. So I'm not covering it again. We covered the consolidated billing yesterday. You merge multiple accounts to a single account. Now, this is a very interesting part. A case study I wanted to discuss with you all. Here, there is a project requirement where you need to design something. A company wants to host something on Amazon. Now, they have a certain kind of requirements. I would read out one by one requirement. I request everyone needs to answer this, else I'll take the names and ask them to answer particularly. So I would request everyone do answer for each and every requirement. Which Amazon service will you use? So everyone please do participate. First one, the company wants to say, I want to achieve scaling on demand. Which Amazon service would you use for this? So I got answer from only 3. Niranjan, Ricardo, Shashwata. Okay, so good answer from almost all. Niranjan, do you want to participate? Now, answer is you would need definitely auto scaling. You can also use the auto scaling. You need to mention the EC2, so it would be launching instance on demand. You can also mention you can use the ELB to distribute the load effectively when the auto scaling launches a new instances. Now, next thing is provision for disaster recovery. What would you provide for the, or how would you achieve the disaster recovery? Shashwata, what I would say is I would take your question at the end. So do stay a little bit and then ask the question. Yesterday, I guess you left early, so couldn't answer your question. But please pass the question after this because I don't want to bring the link here as of now. Okay, everyone again asking question. How do you achieve the disaster recovery? So Muthu has answered one. What about others? Lalit, Nalla Perumal, Niranjan, Piyush, Ricardo, Vikas, everybody, would you answer? So somebody said CloudGate. I'm not sure what he meant by the CloudGate. Also, I would not agree with the answer of the Amazon Glacier. Remember, we talk about the multiple techniques for the disaster recovery yesterday. Now, you can always ask me, do you want to achieve disaster recovery for the database or EC2 instance? If you're going for the EC2 instance, it can be you have to create AMI, you can take a snapshot, you can create a multi-zone launch, right? If you're going for the database like RDS, then in that case you would have a read replica or you can have a multi-easy feature also. So what is the exact requirement? If you are just looking for S3, then it will be import export is there. Which service are you talking about that? And for them, you can set up this part. Right? So you need to think and answer on that. Now, how do you achieve the high performance and high throughput database? So Muthu, Lalit, Vikas, Shashada answered. Anyone else? And good case. Everybody answered some nice thing and I'm very happy. Niranjana also, great. So one thing people would say use RDS, but then how do I achieve the high throughput with the RDS? You have to provision IOPS, right? And what is the other thing I can do than provisioning IOPS to improve the performance? Any thought? You should use the larger size of the instance. Remember I was talking about when you have the instance size larger, there would be better EBS throughput between the instance and the EBS. So it would give you better performance. Another case, you can also use EBS optimized instance. Does anyone remember this EBS optimized instance? I believe hardly one or two. It also provides you the dedicated instance, dedicated bandwidth between EC2 and EBS to improve the throughput. You can think all these options, and one very good answer which I'm very happy from Niranjana and Vikas, you can also use DynamoDB. DynamoDB gives you very high. Did I ever say I have a RDS requirement? No, I said just database. You can be creative. You can ask the client, is it okay if I use the NoSQL? Another good point from Shashwata, use the caching. That also helps you improve the performance and throughput. Very good point from everyone. How do you improve the browsers, or how do you decrease the latency or increase the user's experience for the latency? Quick, we have to cover a lot of things today, so no, there is nothing like for cookie caching, ELB, sticky algorithm here. How do you experience the user experience in browser with a very low latency? Very easy answer. Two aspects. CloudFront, Route 53. CloudFront provides you the CDN, right? CloudFront provides you CDN to cache the static content. You can also use the Route 53 with latency-based routing. How do you achieve the effective load distribution? I'm sure everybody would be able to answer this, and I request everyone to answer. Piyush, Ricardo, Lalit. Nella Perumal, you want to? Answer is elastic load balancer. How do you achieve self-filling infrastructure? How do you achieve self-healing infrastructure? Lalit, Muthu, Nirana. Piyush, Vikas. I keep taking random names. I want everyone to come here. I see a huge, very less numbers than the routine, just 10 or 12 people, than the routine of 18, 20. But I want everyone to participate. One good thought from Vikas, I like the idea. See, ideal answer would be auto scaling with the elastic load balancer. Reason is elastic load balancer stops sending traffic to unhealthy instance. Auto scaling would terminate those and launch a new instance, register with the ELB, so it's a self-healing. But one good thought from Vikas is like you can use the Amazon simple queue service also with the decoupling. So even if the one instance terminates, it does not fail, and whenever new thing comes up, it would be able to take up the load. How do you secure your access to environment? Right. Vikas is right. Nalla Perumal is good options. Anyone else? Muthu right. Others? There are multiple options we talk about up today morning. You can have the VPC, you can have the IAM, you can have the multi-factor authentication for EC2 instance, you have the security groups, private key pair files, use the Amazon HSM, and there are so many things you need to implement to ensure. Very good point. You can use the Amazon encryptions also to secure the access to environment. How do you achieve security of data at the rest and in the transit? Now rest means what? Data which is lying on the disk, and transit means which is data is being communicated over the network. One right answer from Lalit, Shashwata, Vikas. Ricard also a good thought. One is you can achieve with the private subnets in the VPC. You can use the encryptions of the data. You can also use the SSL certificates at HTTPS transactions. How do you achieve archival strategy for the inactive objects? How do you achieve archival strategy? One answer right. What about others? Right, Vikas, White, Nalla Perumal. Right answer is glacier. We all know the glacier, right? How do you manage and replicate the environment? Right answer, Lalit. Muthu. Right answer. But only two. Nalla Perumal, Niranjan, Piyush, Ricardo, Shashwata, Vikas. Good thought from Ricardo. So you can manage, ability to manage and replicate. One could be AMI. Another could be snapshot. One more is cloud formation, ops work. Very good thought, Muthu and Ricardo both. That's also thing. We need to think on all those aspects. So I think Piyush missed something. He said, what was the answer for the number 2? That's for the disaster recovery. Disaster recovery we talk a lot about in the yesterday session. For EC2 it would be different, for EBS it would be different, for VPC, for ELB, there would be separate aspects you need to think, you need to ask and do. Number 4, for the user experience in browser latency, it's a cloud front, you can use that, right? You can use the caching to improve the performance, so those are the things you should use that. So, you would find some of the answers listed here, but I assure you, you answered many more things than what is written here. And that's what I wanted from you. These answers may not be comprehensive. You talk a lot more than what is written here. So that's a very good thought from everyone, and you can see all the answers here when you get this, what you use for there. And there is some simple architecture design for this, which would be like a multi-zone architecture. You would have a RDS, then you would have a CloudWatch and auto scaling, and then you would have a CloudFront distribution, and all that content will be here. So this is the how it would look like. So for you, you can use the Elastic Cache, CloudFront, everything. So this is what we are planning to use and suggesting for the user. You all are champs now, aren't you? Thorough on the Amazon, don't you think? You already designed one Amazon architecture. Don't you think you're ready for the next step? Are you ready for the next step? Only 2 guys. Okay, before I move on to the next step, one important thing I want to share with you. See, there are some of the resources. I'm sure people wanted to know more which book I should read and all that. Frankly, I don't read a book a lot. I enjoy the online material a lot. It's a very easy, convenient, you can do that. So Amazon has all the white papers, all Amazon architecture designs, the documentation available here. The Amazon has a nice forums. You can go to the Amazon support, webinars available here. All Amazon's AMIs which are published by Amazon. That developer tools like SDK is available here. Now this has been moved out. Sorry, let me go to back. This site has been, what happened to my pen? This has been removed now, and it has been replaced with the AWS Amazon.com blogs. You must go there and subscribe to it. If you are subscribed to here, it would keep giving you whatever the Amazon announces new, it would come to you. Any new announcement, and I tell you, I almost get 1 mail daily. Every day Amazon is having some announcement. Amazing thing. You must go there. Amazon architecture blog also you can see here. It's a very good. Who knows this site? Allthingsdistributed.com. Do you remember this site? Anyone? Anyone remembers this site? No, which site is this? Whose site is this? It's by Dr. Werner Vogels, CTO of Amazon. He also writes very nice things. You want to know more about the Amazon architecture, there is a blog available at this. Now, some of the concepts we could not get enough time to cover, but I kept giving you a little overview about them. These two are little important. So Route 53 and VPC. How do you work with the VPC? There is a step-wise guide available at this link. So I would recommend go through 1 or 2, set up your own VPC, you can do that. Same way you want to work with the Route 53, there are links available, how do you work on that. So a few tips available for you, I would recommend go through that. This would definitely help you to progress further on this. Some of the references we made this inside, so these are here. Any questions? Any questions? So are you all ready for the next step? Question, what is grapevine? I'm not sure what is grapevine. Where are you referring to this? Are we all ready for the next step? What is the next step? Is your exam. Are you ready for the quiz now? So I sent a mail to all just now. Can you check your mailbox and see whether you have got any Excel or not? Not ready? You must ready. I'm sure you must be ready. Can you check whether you got mail or not? I might have missed to someone, I'm not sure. I'm just confirming, so please verify whether you got mail or not. Don't start anything immediately. Yes, an Excel with multiple choice. So 3 to 4 got. Do not start, I'll tell you everything, don't worry. You will get the enough time. So I think Shashwata hasn't got it. Shashwata, have you got it now? Anyone else who has not got it? Anyone apart from Shashwata who has not got it? Okay, so I believe only Shashwata I am sending you. Shashwata, just check your mail. I sent you an email. Now this is a 20 question scenario. It's a 8:44 my clock, so we can start by 8:45. In a minute. I'll give you 30 minutes this time. I think 30 minutes enough. Normally I give 45, but we are little late. So I'll give you 30 minutes and then I discuss one-to-one question over there. So let's plan at least if we can do something better in 30 minutes. I think 30 minutes is still enough. So what you need to do is you just fill up. There would be a question like this. You will see the Excel. You just keep writing your answers next to I. It could be, or you can say mention answer number 1, 2, 3, 4. You can mark here. Whatever way you want to answer, you just mark for your reference. You do not need to send this back to me. Keep it with you. After 30 minutes, I'll discuss each and every question. Okay. So are we all ready now? Are we all ready? Has everyone got the PPT? Sorry, question answers, question book? Okay, so go ahead. Shashwat, I hope you also got that. So I say go ahead, like 9:15. We will meet back and see how we can progress further. So best of luck to all. Just see how you feel that. I hope everybody's doing great. It's just 10 minutes, almost 8 minutes past. You still have a lots of time. Be patient, think, and then answer. So for all those who it's done, you can have a 5 minutes break. We'll be back in around next 10 minutes. So how many of you have not completed? Who has not completed yet? I believe everyone. So are you all ready to discussion or are you on break? I just wanted to confirm. Are you all available now for the discussion? Can we start? Okay, so I see only 2 answers. Now what about others? Are you all available now for discussion? Looks like people are still on a break. I'll wait for a minute. Or should I take the names? I see the people. I would request not for 5 minutes, just take a 2 minutes break now. We will start by 9:15. I don't want to wait now again for everyone. So I request everyone be back in a 2 minutes maximum, 9:15. In a minute or two, we will start this back. Okay, let's start discussion now. I think we already spent a huge time, so I don't want to keep waiting everyone now. It's not a great thing. Yeah, so let's start all discussion. Now, a question for all. How did you find it? How did you find the quiz? Easy, average? So before the answers, I want to get your feedback. After the answers, I'll definitely get that. Okay, so few answers which is tricky, and I do agree, and Amazon ask in similar lines. So good. So let's start the discussion, and now in the discussion, you need to answer all saying something 1-2 or 2-3. This would be the how you would be writing answer. So 1 is the question number. I'll show you. And -2 means 2 is the right answer. Right. So 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, 1-1, something like that, you answer that. I'll ask the question, everybody needs to say me what is the right answer here. And then I'll discuss the right answer with all. Question number 1. The user has launched a Windows micro instance. The user has attached ephemeral storage with the instance. If the user stops the instance, what will happen to the ephemeral storage? What's your answer? Request everyone. I request everyone not answer A, B, C, D, E. Instead answer like 1-1, 1-2, 1-3 something. Don't write the complete thing. As I said, mentioned before, answer like something 1-2, 1-2, something like that answer. That easier for me to track also. So, right answer for 1 is from Vikas. It's number 3. The micro instance does not allow the ephemeral storage. That you need to remember this. That's the trick. Micro instance does not allow to attach the ephemeral storage. Number 2. A user has launched a large EBS back instance with AWS. The user has attached ephemeral storage with the instance as an additional device. What will happen if the user stops the instance? Now, what is the answer for here? Don't write 1-4. You are now answering for number 2. So I hope you are saying something for 2. Shashwata? I got answer from only 4 people. What about others? Piyush? Hey Ricardo, I request again, don't say 2-G, say 2-4. That's a 4 number, question choice number 4. That easier to track. So I request again, follow that format. It's easier to track. Okay, so right answer is number 4. You can attach ephemeral storage to larger instance size, and when you stop the instance, all the data would be lost, but device stays attached. Question number 3. A user is running a batch process which runs for 1 hour every day. Which of the below mentioned option is the right instance type and costing model in this case if the user performs the same task for whole year? What is the right answer for number 3? Right answer from Vikas. Shashwata. Ricardo, again a request. Are you saying 4-3 or 3-4? Only 2% right answer. Right answer is number 4. See, this is you need EBS back instance because you want to stop it. You are just charging for 1 hour. Now, since you are being charged for 1 hour, there is no point of storing using the reserved instance here. Because reserved instance is for a longer period where it runs for 6 months or more. Here, totally it would run only 400 hours. So even not for 1 month total. So this way, you need to go with the on-demand pricing with the EBS back instance. Question number 4. The user is planning highly available application development with EC2. Which of the below mentioned options will not help achieve high availability? So Muthu is right, Vikas is right, Lalit is right. So Nalla Perumal, it's only one correct answer, not help. And if you see the right answer is PIOPS. PIOPS achieves the improved performance, not for the high availability. Availability zones definitely help for this. AMI helps you for high availability because if instance fails, you can launch a new instance. Elastic IP also helps you for the high availability. We talked about that in detail yesterday. PIOPS does not fall for that part, so answer is 2. Should I keep marking so you remember this? Yeah. Question number 5. A user is planning to make a scalable web application. The user is planning to use RDS for this. Which RDS feature will help achieve scalability? The right answer is from Vikas Muthu, Shashwata. Be quick. Nala Perumal. Right answer is read replica. Read replica, you achieve the scalability, right? So you have to use the scalability to read replica. Question number 6. A user is planning a self-resilient, high available application. Which of the below mentioned AWS service help achieve this? We talk about this today morning also. So Vikas Shashwata right, Lalit right. Niranjana right. Number 1. It's more about the self-resiliency. So CloudWatch is definitely helpful for the high availability and this part, but self-resiliency you would achieve with this elastic load balance and auto scaling. That would be the one of the key. We talk about that today morning while designing part also. Question number 7. A user is configuring metadata for his application. The data is not structured. What is the right answer here? So right answer, everybody, right? It's an easy one. Answer is DynamoDB. Question number 8. A user is planning to launch an instance from EC2. Which of the below mentioned option is not a possible scenario? This is a little tricky one. Right answer is by Vikas. Number 3. You cannot launch using ELB. ELB would not help you to launch an instance. Question number 9. A user has launched an instance mounted as a 20 GB volume on dev SDF. What will happen to the volume when the instance is terminated? So great work again from Vikas. Niranna, Shashwat, I hope you are referring number 9, not the 10. Muthu. The right answer is number 3. Because when you attach an additional volume, by default the delete on termination will be false and the volume would not be terminated. If it's a root volume, by default delete on termination is true and the volume might be deleted. Question number 10. A user wants to enhance the I/O of his instance. Which of the below mentioned instance types provides a better dedicated I/O with EBS? I talk about this today morning also. So I hope now everybody remembers. That's the reason I talk about today morning. Right answer from Nalla Perumal, Muthu, Shashwata, Vikas. EBS optimized instance. Remember I talked about this today morning? EBS optimized. Question number 11. When a user is launching an instance with EC2, which of the below mentioned option is not available during this part? Right answer from Lalit, Vikas. Upload a new key pair. That's the right answer. Number 12. A user is accessing an instance on the SSH port for IP this, which is a secure way to configure that the instance can be accessed only from this IP address. So for number 12, everybody is wrong. Right answer is number 1. When you say /32, it specifies only this IP. When you specify /0, it means there's 256 IP in this range. Sorry, 65,536 IP in this range. When you say /24, it says 256 IP in this range. This option is not valid at all, number 4. It's a CIDR, classless internet domain routing, which follows the standard. You have to understand this also. Number 13. Yeah, what's the answer for 13? Vikas is right. Shashwata is right. Answer is number 1. Remember, I told about this. When the availability zone and volumes are indifferent, you will not be attach a volume to the instance. Right? Number 14. What is the right answer for number 14? Again, Vikas is right. Nalla Perumal is right. ICPU is very silent. Niranjan is right. The right answer is number 2. If the volume is not mounted, remember the first time is you have to mount the volume. Otherwise it will not display you the data. Question number 15. A user is using an EBS-backed instance. Which of the below mentioned statement is true? This is an easy one. Vikas is right. Niranna is right. Shashwata is right. Right answer is number 3. See, remember when you have stopped the instance, still it would cost you for the volume. And it says user will be charged for volume and instance only when instance is running. No, when instance is stopped, it will still cost you for the volume. So the right answer is number 3. Number 16, question number 16. User has configured ELB with 2 instances running in separate AWS zone, same region. Which of the below mentioned statement is true? Somebody said 5. What is 5 option? Sorry, Lalit. This is a tricky one, and I would give full marks for both 3 and 4. Ideally it should be 3, but 4 is also right, so I won't stop. 3 and 4 both can be right in this scenario. Whatever choice you can say, it's a right. It's just a tricky one, I put it across. Number 17. A user has configured ELB. Which of the below mentioned protocol user can use? I think everybody is right. It's the number 2. Number 18. What's the right answer for number 18? Right answer is number 2. Question number 19. A user is trying to share a video file with all his friends. Which of the below mentioned Amazon service will be the cheapest and easy to use? See, everybody focused on the idea of easy to use. Did you ever focus on cheapest? Right answer is RRS. Niranda is right for this. You can do S3 and RRS both, but RRS would be cheaper. Question number 20. What is Glacier? I am sure this is very easy for everyone. So almost all are right. Answer is number 2. So if you want to share your marks, how much you got right? Anyone wants to share that? You can write down how many numbers you got right. Great one from Vikas and Niranda. Vikas is at 17, 15. You're going good. So perfectly going on. Others? Anyone? Don't get disappointed. Even if you get less, you just need to practice a little bit more and you would get better. It's a good one from Muthu, Nala Perumal, Shashwata, good try. So everybody, great thing. Did you like the quiz now? Now I'll ask everyone, did you enjoy this? This is how Amazon asks questions in the certification. This is how it would be asking you for the certification. You need to prepare for this because it's all practical questions in the certification. Now, any questions from your end till now? Let's talk about one more important aspect. I'm sure everybody was looking forward to this. Amazon certification. How many of you are planning to give Amazon certification? Good. So Kirti, Vikas, Muthu, Shashwata, Niranjan. Okay. So one question from Nala also, great. Shashwata says, can you explain that IP address point? I would just say, go to CIDR, classless internet domain routing concept, which says whenever you are defining an IP, if you say 1.1.1.1/32, it means it's a specific IP 1.1.1.1 and only. When you say /24, it would cover the range of from 1.1.1.1 to 1.1.1.255. When you say 0, it would have a 65,000. So from 1.1.1.1 to 1.250.250.250.250, something like that. That's the classless internet domain routing, which covers what range of IP address are allowed for this port. So Amazon supports that CIDR. When you say /32, it means it's a specific IP only you are talking about. Right. Now, and it's good to know that so many people are trying for this. And I have a tricky preparation scenario for you. So I'll say tricky, why? Because I would not give you all the details. And I'll tell you why in a while, don't worry. When you want to start for the certifications, first page you come here is Amazon certifications. Amazon offers three kind of certifications: Amazon Solution Architect, Amazon Developer, and Amazon CSOP Administrator. Now for the Solution Architect, our course when you go more, is more focus was for a Solution Architect, sorry, the first one, associate level. Our course was more focused on the associate level. We help you prepare for this. Now, see, to achieve the certificate, it's around 5 to 7 steps of the process. I take you the first step. I give you this for the second step. Now, a few more steps you need to work on your own. But I will tell you how to work. I don't say you don't go to the developer or sysops also, you can go anything. What is the difference between three? Solution architect is when somebody gives you a project, like today we did a case study of the Amazon. When they give you a project, there would be certain sets of requirements. You need to map which service you would use, how would you optimize, everything would be. That's where you architect for the Amazon. Now, you want to develop an application for Amazon, like what Instagram is doing, uploading over there, or you want to make something like Elastic Fox or something like that, where you would be using Amazon's own SDK, REST APIs and everything. This is where the developer would come in a picture. I don't say they ask only about the APIs and SDKs. It's more about the development side approach. How would you develop this? And they don't ask exactly the APIs and all that, but yeah, 1 or 2 questions would be on that also. You have developed the application, you have designed the application, you have developed the application. How do you manage it? How do you optimize it? How do you deploy continuously? SysOps kind of a scenario, system operations kind of a case. That's where the third option would come in a picture. Your CloudFront and CloudFormation and DevOps and the monitoring and improvement and scaling and quite a few things here. I don't say that what is coming in Solution Architect would not come here or would not come here. No, they all overlap with each other. And when you go to the Amazon FAQs also, and when you try to find, see, all topics are covered in everything, but the fundamental is different. Here it's for the designing. Here it's more about the developing for Amazon. Here it's about the managing for the Amazon. That is the concept for all three. You need to understand and you need to decide which exam do you want to give based on your career outing. I cannot say you go only for this exam or this exam. You can do and start preparing accordingly. Yeah, one thing I'll say is my curriculum is designed as per the Certified Solution Architect Associate level. Once you clear the associate level and you have 6 months of some hands-on experience, you can go for the professional also. In the associate level, how would you do this? There would be some number of questions. It would be giving you a few hours. How do you do all this part and how do you prepare for that? So for that, I have prepared a certain kind of a cheat sheet kind of a case. First is select which certificate meets your requirements. Second is, if Solution Architect or anything, our course is considered. Third is set your timeline. Now, what do I mean by the set your timeline? Just a moment. What do I mean by the set your timeline? In the set your timeline, you need to set yourself that, okay, I want to appear the exam for the March end, 31st March, April 15th, whatever the deadline. You set your deadline for yourself. And I tell you, unless you set a deadline, you would not start working on that. So you need to work on this. So this is the soft advice I'm just giving you. Now, you need to know about your exam. How would you register it? What is the exam fee? What is the time? How many questions would it be asked? All that. And I will not tell you all these details. Why? It's a very easily available here. When you go to this page, you will find all the required information. I don't want to give you only this because I want you to at least go and check something on yourself that, okay, I am really serious. Okay, now I want to plan something. I want to know more. This is the step I want to start with. So it's easy for me to give you all the details. I don't want to go in a spoon feeding. I want to show you the path. First step, go and say what is the number of questions they ask. What is the passing requirement? What is the time it required? Start your understanding, set your timeline, and immediately register for the exam. All these things you need to do. Now register for the exam. See, Amazon gives an advantage. You can still read over there. You can reschedule the exam 1 week before. They allow 1 or 2 times maximum. You can do that also. But at least you have the timeline, deadline, and the exam date. You start preparing accordingly that. These are all the soft advice I give my students first time. At least you plan on this. Now, let's study. How do I prepare for the certification? So first thing is, go through all the videos. Go through all the videos again. All 8 sessions, videos again. Try out all the manuals. We are given so many how-to guides. Do lots of hands-on, 2-3 times. Launch an instance, terminate instance, launch media, the micro with ephemeral, without ephemeral, does it work, change size, everything, IP, VPC, all that do the manuals more and more. You need to do this. That's only way you get more and more confident. Now, once you are much confident with all this we covered, you are ready for the next step. So first perform all this part. Now what is the red step? Sorry, next step. Next step is first focus on the pending topics. We did not cover the Amazon asks generally focus on EC2, S3, EBS, autoscaling, ELB, PPC, RRS, IAM, CloudWatch. So these are the core topics. And I am not saying that Amazon asks only for these questions. Amazon can ask for most of them. But I am sure you won't have the time to go through it. So I identified a few topics for you at least. How do you start designing for that? One of them would be VPC. Now VPC we did not cover. So how do you prepare for the VPC? Go to AWS Amazon.com VPC. Go to developer resources. There is a user guide in PDF. Open that. Now when you see this PDF, it's almost 130 plus 40 pages. Now I recommend at least to go through this. VPC carries around 5 to 6 questions, which are good to understand. Now what you should learn more in VPC, VPC concepts very important for you. Try hands-on with the number 1 and number 2 scenario also. So once this is done, number 3 and 4 you can run. I don't think they would ask in detail about number 3 and 4, but at least read that. So read number 3 and read number 4. VPC and subnet is also very important. Read through. And again, you feel it's a too lengthy, but don't worry. It's all practical. So you can keep doing practical in parallel with you. After that, learn the security aspect in the VPC. Networking also, the IP address mechanism, you can do that. And route tables. That's a very important part for this. Now, adding a hardware virtual, this is a little tricky and I don't think Amazon asked so deep about that, but at least you should be clear on the concept of this. You don't need to do a practical, but at least you should be clear on a concept for this. Then same way, provide secure communication between your using VPN and Cloud Hub. No, I think you can just set up this part. So just read that. You don't need to perform anything. Just go through quickly on that. VPC peering, again, just understand the concept. You don't need to perform that as of now. So from 130 onwards, I would say just go through the concept quickly. You don't need to perform. This would definitely help you to get more confidence. Perform number 1 and 2 at least 2 times. This would give you a thorough understanding of the VPC. Now, coming back to this is more topics you need to learn. After this, some more topics. This is the second priority where you can expect certain questions, but maximum 1 or 2 questions on this. RDS we covered, CloudFront we covered, Glacier we covered, Simple Email Service we covered, SNS, SQS, Elastic MapReduce and Route 53 spending. Now you would say that I am not clear on all these 4. How would I prepare this? I don't recommend that you go and do the practical for each and every. If you have time, you do that. I don't deny that. It's a very good to do because it's helpful. In case you don't have the time, at least go to the product homepage, AWS, Amazon.com, VPC or SNS or SCS. Try to understand what is the practical use of them, where they would be useful. So SWS, SQS, EMR, try to understand what is the practical use case and see more about that if you can read something on that. Then comes the white papers. White papers are one very core important part for the Amazon because Amazon asks all practical questions. And I have given you a link in the today's session, awsamazon.com/whitepapers, where Amazon has listed all the white papers. Once you are thorough about the above parts, going through white paper would be very easy for you. So you should go through the security, high availability, data storage, backup recovery, all the white papers available there. At least glance through them so you know fundamentally what to be done. Telling you frankly, the yesterday's session was mainly based on the white papers. I designed yesterday's session based on my experience, based on the white papers, my study, based on the various forums, everywhere I combine everything. So when you go through this, it will make your life very easy to understand. You would easily be able to relate, saying, okay, Tarun mentioned something in step 7, how would I do it? Or how do I achieve high availability? Tarun mentioned this in step 7, day 7. You would be able to easily, but go through that for a practice. Now, it's a D days approaching. You are almost ready. What I recommend is, just 2 days or 3 days before, study all the FAQs. FAQ is a perfect thing for summary of everything. It gives you what is this, overview, how to use some concepts, everything is covered in the FAQ here. Go through this part. This would give you a complete easy chance to refresh everything. How do I prepare everything? It would be ready for you. So go through that part also. Right? So this is how you prepare. Now relax and go for the exam. You're ready, all set. You can relax and go for the exam. It's all set for you. Now for the solution architect, frankly, they do not ask questions like what is the size, what is the limit, everything. No, they ask all practical questions. All practical questions. Now once you're done, and before this number 4, there is one more step if you want to. First is question dumps. I'm sure everybody would say, can you share me the question dumps? Frankly, I can't. I have signed an NDA with Amazon when I cleared my exam that I will never share the question dumps. And you would not find a lot of question dumps across the market. If you find, again, they might be little odd or not right, all that thing. But yes, there are 2 sites, Linux Academy and a Cloud Academy. If you want to pay, you can go to them. They have a huge set of a questionnaire available. You can prepare from that. You can also go to Amazon certification. This where they will say take the exam workshop or download the, sorry, take a practice exam. So practice exam cost you, it's around 1 question for $1 or $2, something like that. They give you around 20 questions. Only challenge is they don't give you the right answers. So they give you the chance how the exam would be. If you want to prepare that also you can try here. But it's a very good practical exam, so if you are ready to spend $20, $30, you can do that also. You should go and read some of the Amazon blogs. People do keep on sharing on the LinkedIn communities, Amazon. There's so many things. You should start reading and you should subscribe to that. So this is how you prepare and excel in the Amazon certification exam. And I'm sure it would look like for you the lengthy process, everything. But I assure you, once you go through the videos, once you go through the manuals, your 60% task is cut off. You go through the VPC, your more 15% task is cut off. Now rest 25% is your white papers, blogs, the preparation, other parts, hands-on, everything would depend on that. So, any questions till now? Now I ask, how many of you are still going to give the exam? How many of you are still planning to give the exam? Good to see only 1 or 2% drop from the list. From the early around 8, I see only 6 or 7. Okay, 1% only missing now. I hope he also appears. And I request, if you clear or something, do share your feedback with me. Do share that, okay, you cleared something, whether the sessions helped you or not. You think something more I can pass to the other, in future also to other trainers. Do share with your feedback. That helps you. Like I get all this from the various students who passed the exam. Based on my experience, I share with you. Why don't you also share your feedback, right? So based on what you learned, what you like in the course, and this has helped me easily prepare, this is how I prepare, share with me. That definitely helps you. It's a collaborative world. So I request again everyone, please do share what you're planning to do. Okay, any questions now? So Ricardo says the Amazon is little new for him and he was more looking on a map reduce and something. What are the kinds of jobs available in Amazon? Amazon has a huge job opportunity. I tell you, every week I get almost 2 to 3 LinkedIn requests for the openings. So people need Amazon architect, people need who can manage the Amazon part, who can design for the Amazon. And now Amazon which comes with the Elastic MapReduce, Amazon comes with the mobility part, Amazon comes with the different data warehousing, all that is very well. So it's a more on Amazon architect kind of scenario. And you have a certification that helps you a lot. So you must plan that. Shashwata says, can I email you after the course? Sure, you can always email, definitely. I would recommend if possible you do send mail to support team also, because in case I am not available, sometimes they can also get help from other trainers or someone else, or they would answer. If not, they would definitely pass that to me also. You can also send me mail, I'm fine. I'm okay with both the options, whatever you like. Right, any other questions? Shashwat, I believe you also had a few questions before on technical side, something you can share those here. So before I go to the next part, I want to clear everybody on this technical side, anything. So any other question you have? Okay, so one question is, can you set up the CloudWatch to terminate the instance and release Elastic IP when idle? I can set up CloudWatch to terminate the instance when it is idle. I think I showed you that also in the demo. On day 3 in the CloudWatch action, one action is EC2 terminate. That is possible. I cannot release the Elastic IP automatically. But in that case, if you going to release, then why do you need an Elastic IP? Why don't you use the public DNS provided by Amazon itself? So you don't need to release at all. Don't procure the Elastic IP. Just let the Amazon give you the public DNS. Use that public DNS. So when instance is terminated, it will automatically the DNS is released. Elastic IP is for a long-term purpose, not for when you terminate instance, you remove that. Yeah. Any other questions anyone has? Any questions on any topic on Amazon? So what do you mean by the real-time application, Shashwata? Can you please elaborate? So now we are in the last stage of our training. I would say the slog hours has begun for us. Now, what we need to do is, Shashwat, you can type your question, anybody can, I just explain till the time. You get the certification from Amazon only when you clear the Amazon certification. Since you attended this course, you also get a certification from Edureka for attending this course. But how do you prove you attended course and you learned something? For that, we provide you 6 projects you need to work on. You go through any of the 6 projects, you perform that project, send me the screenshot of those projects, any one project. I will review it. Once I approve, Edureka would release the certificate for you. So if you want to get a certification from Edureka, you need to work on this one of the projects. And now what are these projects for? I plan these projects considering your various requirements. When you are planning for AWS Solution Architect exam, this is what you would be focusing more. So here you need to create a WordPress blog on Amazon using RDS, where you install a WordPress blog on Amazon, which is a scalable, which should be running in high availability and multiple zones, so you should have a multiple instance. It should be load balanced. The database should be MySQL RDS. It should be working with the automatic load distribution. It should have an auto scaling policy, time-based auto scaling policy, which scale up at 8 a.m. and scale down at 6 p.m. every day. You need to set up this and send me the screenshot. Now what kind of a screenshot am I expecting from you? For the project number 1, you need to give me a URL which says something awsamazon.com with the WordPress homepage over there. You send me the URL of your RDS endpoint. You created an RDS, and what is the endpoint of that RDS? You send me that. You send me the screenshot of your auto scaling policy, and you also send me the screenshot where you configured RDS with the WordPress. That screenshot you send, and one more screenshot where you'll be showing multi-zone instance. Take screenshot of each and everything. You don't need to send me the URL or anything. You take screenshot, you terminate the instance, I'm fine. Take the screenshot and send it to me. I'll be okay. Once I review, I approve, you will get the certification. Number 2 is, if you are thinking more on a developer side, you're thinking more on a DevOps side or a SysOps side, this is the number 2, where you need to create a LAMP stack for the cloud formation using IAM. It's a tricky one, but very good if you can achieve. You create a cloud formation template which creates the LAMP stack. It's available. But only difference would be it should take the data from the PHP and MySQL. It should automatically install this with this LAMP, and it downloads an index.html file from somewhere in S3 using IAM credentials. You need to send me the output where send me the template directly and the IAM policy you created. So send these 2 things to me. For number 3, upload data to S3 bucket using Amazon SDK. So you write a program. You can write in any of it. This is more for the developer's case. You can write in Java, .NET, PHP, Ruby, anything, where the program creates an S3 bucket. It takes the file as an input from the user. You upload the file to S3. And important point is, you should not pass your credential as part of the program. Instead, you should use the IAM role. So here in the output, you need to give me scan the screenshot of your IAM role, Amazon application you will launch with the IAM role, and the output of the program. You take these 3 screenshots and send me. So you can select any of these 3 you want to do. One question good. Would you share this project file with us? It is already available in LMS. If you have not got this project file, you can drop a mail to our support team. Or if you need, you can drop me a mail also. I'll send you that. Now, number 4. These 2, there are 3 more projects. If you think, no, Tarun, I am not interested for all these lengthy projects, make my life easy. I just want to get the Amazon certification. Then I have 3 more projects for you. One is a vertical scaling with EC2, which I'll show you, where you launch an EC2 instance with 10 GB hard disk and you change the hard disk to 30 GB as well as change the instance size also. Do both the thing. I'll show you how to do this now. Second point is you install an Apache with 1 GB volume. You launch in Singapore and you attach an additional 1 GB volume and configure that all Apache files should be stored in the 1 GB additional volume and not on the root volume. Sixth point, which is not mentioned here, but I tell you, create a LAMP stack on Amazon EC2. Create a LAMP stack, Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP. You create this on Amazon EC2. I'll perform the number 4 and number 6 in front of you right now. You can select any of that. It's a completely up to you. I would be more than happy if you can select from first 3, which would give you the right start for your exam preparation. But you're short on the time, you want to do a little shortcut, you can select from anyone 4, 5, 6 also, I'm okay. Right? So now I'll go and perform the projects, but by the time, any questions from your end? Any questions pending? Anything you want to know? Okay, good. So what I'm going to do is, I'll first create a LAMP stack with the micro instance, and then I will do the vertical scaling of this. Okay, so Shashwata has a question. How do I manage the disk copy to remote site real time so that when the main site fails, there is no gap in the DR? See, the only option I think here is you would be set up the active kind of a scenario that you would have a 2 databases, your own MySQL something running or something, which keeps replicating the data to another data server. This is more the database specific thing you want to configure. So it can be Oracle. Oracle also provide the data guard. Sorry, yeah, data guard. So what was the name? I forgot. Golden Gate. Yeah, Oracle provides the Golden Gate for that. For MySQL also there is option. This is more like a database where you create a 2 database into separate regions and they keep replicating with each other over there. I don't think anything specific to Amazon required here, but yes, you want to do something on Amazon specific, you keep taking the snapshot at regular interval, it would also help you. Right, so first I am going to do is the number 6, where I'll select my Amazon Linux AMI. I'll select the T2.micro. I'll say auto assign IP enable, so I don't need to use the elastic IP in this case. Currently I'm making 8 GB only volume. So this is a security group I'm going to use. This is where it has open port 22 for all IPs, port 80 for all IPs. I just launch it with my key. It will start launching the instance. It will take a couple of minutes to launch the instance. By the time again I open the forum for everyone. Do you have any doubts, questions, anything you want to cover related to Amazon, anything specific which I was not able to answer or I missed somehow? Very good question from Shashwata. Can you increase the size of EBS when instance is active? Answer is yes and no both. First answer is no, because if your root volume is there, you cannot increase the size of that. But there is a workaround available here where you create a new volume and attach that volume to your instance as an additional drive. You would have a 2 drives, so you would have a larger storage. You can configure as an additional drive which would work for you. If you want as a single drive only, you can do the striping of the volume, that is a RAID, RAID 0 something you can do there, which would also merge the volumes and create a larger volume. On a runtime, it's possible to do, you can do that. The best possible solution would be you stop the instance, take the snapshot and do that part. So both the options are possible, but yes, this is also possible in a way. Okay, Shashwata? So I'm just waiting for a minute instance to launch. It would give me a public IP, something like this. I'm not sure if it's still up or not. I'm just checking. It is. I have written a few steps ready for me for the LAMP setup, so I'll just use it creatively, easily. One thing which you need to do here is, generally when you log into Amazon instance, run this command sudo yum update -y. It would apply all the patches, including security and all the patches. This would be helpful too. This is for the Linux, you would do it if anything pending. I'm going to run the different commands, like first command, mark here, install the Apache. Second command, mark here, install the MySQL. Third command, mark, install the PHP and PHP for MySQL. Fourth and fifth command starts the Apache and MySQL. Last command ensures that my Apache is set up to start automatically when the instance is boot up. So I'll run all these commands one by one. So I install the Apache, then I install the PHP MySQL. Sorry, MySQL. Now I'm installing PHP. I'm starting Apache. I'm starting MySQL. I'm setting Apache to start automatically. And last thing, I'm creating a test file for my review. This is just a content of the test file. My instance is up and ready. My LAMP setup, in just no more than a minute, my LAMP setup is up and running. Isn't that too fast? Isn't that? In just 2 minutes, I set up the LAMP. That's the power of Amazon. Somebody says, can you share this output, what you guys give? This is the LAMP commands I just set up. You can just Google on that, set up the LAMP. You would easily get that, right? So the project output file is already uploaded in LMS, and if you're not aware about that or you don't get it, as I said, you can write to our support team and they would be able to help you. So here it shows MySQL part also. This is set up, everything is done. Right? So next step is I have to do the vertical scaling. So I'll just say, first thing I'll do it stop. So it has even stopped the instance also here. Now since it is stopped, I can go to the volume and take a snapshot. For this volume, I'll take a snapshot. Now, once this is done, I can create a new volume from the snapshot. While creating a new volume, what is the thing I need to note? What is the thing I need to remember? While creating a snapshot, what thing do I need to remember? Nalla Parumal, you are almost there, but not the right answer. Still not the right answer. You need to remember the zone, not the region. You need to remember in which zone my instance is running. My instance is running in US East 1A. So whenever I create a new volume, it should be part of the US East 1A zone only. Right? Remember this thing. I'm just waiting for the snapshot to finish, so we have to wait for a couple of minutes more. By the time, I can show you one more thing also. How do you achieve the vertical scaling? You can go to the instance, select the instance, in the actions, instance setting, change instance type. From T2.micro, I can say T2.small. Vertical scaling of the instance, I say apply. This is for just changing the size. So from micro I'm making now small. Now I go back to snapshots. It's still making. Since it was first time, it's taking a little more. Henceforth it would be much faster because it would only get the modified data. Now it's ready. I'll say create volume. I can create general purpose, provision, magnetic. I want to create of the size 20 GB. It has to be in US East 1A only. I'll say create. I go to the volume. What I'll do is I'll release the first volume, detach, and attach this volume. Oh sorry, I should have attached as a different. Root device. So let me first remove this. Okay, and what was my root device? I just go and check. Dev SDF was the root device. So I'll attach as a Dev SDF only. Yeah, it's attached as a Dev SDF only. Now let me start the instance. It should have been SVDA. So let me go and detach this first and attach as a different board drive. I attach as a dev XVDA. I go back to instance because I have to attach as a root volume only. So it has started. We'll just wait for a couple of minutes more to make it available. But any questions till now? So we are almost reaching the final hours. Just see if I can log into this instance or not. It is not up yet, so I need to wait for a minute. It's up now. When I say df-h, it shows my root device is now 20 GB size. If I go to HTML and say ls, you can see my test.php file is there, and I'm sure my instance is running. If it started, the Apache would be running. Let me get the IP, because I said that Apache should start automatically. You can see Apache is also automatically started. So I did the vertical scaling by changing the size, I changed the volume size, I set up the lamp, everything I did that. And frankly, it hardly took me 15 minutes. Not even 15, right? So this is how you configure everything. Any questions till now? If not, then I'll terminate the instance. One question, why do you call this vertical scaling? If you remember the day 4, we defined the vertical and the horizontal scaling. You have a one instance which is having 2 GB RAM or 1 GB RAM. Excuse me. Which is having 1 GB of the RAM and 20 GB or 8 GB of the storage. Now I change this to 2 GB RAM and 20 GB hard disk. So I increase the capacity which is able to scale up. So I scale up the resource with better capacity, but it's a vertically because it's the same resource I have done it. I have not added multiple resources over there. Same resource which is catering to the same request, but now instead of it is having a better CPU, better memory, better storage, everything is there. Right? So if you try to remember the day 4, I explained about this vertical and horizontal scaling. This is how I achieve the vertical scaling. Clear? Does it answer your question now? You need to delete the volumes also. They may not be deleted. Any other questions from your end? Any questions? Okay, then I have the question. We started this curriculum almost 4 weeks back, 8 sessions back. You all had certain anticipation. I'm not sure you joined this session because you got a free course, or you wanted to learn Amazon, you wanted to make a career, you were interested more in a cloud, there was some thought process in your mind and we interacted that time. You might have some expectations and something. We are now at the end of the session. All 8 sessions are completed. It's been a whole eventful journey for all of us. And I wanted to know for you, did it meet your expectations? Whatever you were anticipating, did it surpass your expectations? How did you enjoy? What are your thoughts? I just want to get that part from you. And I would request if you can be a little verbal this time, just explain me how you felt. I'm not saying that be positive only. You have any feedbacks, I'm more than happy, as I always said. I always want to improve. I want to improve my course also, so others can benefit. Everyone, would you like to share something? You started with some kind of anticipation. Did it help you or not? So thanks, Vikas, for your feedback. Thanks, Ricardo, and I agree. You have to be architect who earn more money. So that's true. And I hope this would be proving a base for you. Okay, so Shashwata, the time was way tough. I'm sure you must be running in a different time zone. That could be a challenge. I do understand. So sorry, but thanks again. Thanks, Ricardo. Now I'm sure this is the first step for your Amazon, and I'm sure this would be help you to move more and more faster going over there. Thanks, Muthu, also. Good. So Shashwata says, is there any other time slot available or not? See, generally we run in 2 time slots. 1 month we run in the morning, India time. 1 month we run in the evening, India time. So evening 8 to 11, morning 8 to 11. This is the time we follow generally. So from next week it would be the evening course. That's evening 8 to 11, Saturday, Sunday. Any other? So I think we are good as of now. I don't see, but again, we have a huge time still available. I'm open for any questions you have, anything you want to discuss, something want my help on. So Piyush says, aren't you showing project for? No, frankly, Piyush, I generally showed 1 project. Sometimes based on the time I show the 2 projects, but this is more. I think something you need to try on your own also. So unfortunately, I won't be able to help a lot on this. You need to do a project on your own. You can select any of 3, 4, 5 or 4, 5, 6, any of on your own. A very good point from Muthu, and Muthu says this, generally I am from a Windows background, and in my session I talk very less on the Windows, and you have a very valid point. I tell you the reason only, frankly, it's nothing against the Windows. Why I like the Linux more was, it's a little faster. And my experience with the Windows was mainly because Amazon takes 2-3 minutes more, then I need to get the password, I need to get everything. It's a little more time consuming. So considering where we have to run only 3 hours, I could not get the effective time to do everything in a Windows. So that was one of the stopping point for me. So I was going more on a Linux part. And second point was, and again I'm just being frank here, so I appreciate your feedback. Generally, when you go to the production server, most of the production are for the Linux. I do know you are from the Windows and you would be using Windows a lot, but generally most of the production are for the people would prefer the Linux part because people come, so I go for that. But I take your point well, and definitely I can see something, at least I can show someone on Windows also, at least once I can do something. But I hope you know how to launch Windows. If you need any help on Windows, I can show that immediately now also. If you want to know how to connect a Windows instance something, I can do that also, a quick demo. I'm fine. So Nalla Parimal says how to install IIS in Windows. Generally, all Windows server does have the IIS installed over there. And second point would be, once you get the Windows, now once you get the Linux, you install Apache. Once you get the Windows, you install IIS. This would be similar way you get any Windows. There is nothing different in Amazon. Amazon gives you that. And thanks Muthu for your feedback. And he says he already tried Windows plus SQL 7. I hope that helped you. You were able to practice well. Yeah. Any other questions? You want to see, try something, anything from your end? Thanks again, Muthu, for your feedback. And I'm so happy to know that everybody enjoyed the class. That's my only motive. That when after 8 sessions you spent 3 hours with me, I spent so much efforts, it should be useful. If it's taking you out something, you learn something, and that's a great thing. Piyush says, can I rejoin any other class if I fail to do a revision? Frankly, I'm not the right person to answer on this. You need to contact our support. Edureka management would make a call there. But again, you already have the video, right? So you can go through the video. I don't feel why should you like to rejoin, because you already have the video. The next time also rejoin, you do the same thing which I repeat. So you can easily do the revision with the video also. Nalla Perimal says, can I assign 2 IP address in a Windows server? Yes, you can do that. You need to use the VPC with an additional Ethernet card. When you do this, you can assign 2 IP address also. That's possible. So when you are launching a new, not this, instance, I'll just show you quickly. Here, there would be a network interface. You can add additional device here, and once that is defined, you can assign 2 separate IPs to each additional device. This way you can have 2 public IPs available. That's possible. Muthu says, how long I will be allowed to see the videos? I think it's available for lifelong. I don't see there is any limit here. So Ricardo says, can I install a CouchDB? Yes, you can. See, you can install CouchDB on any server, same way you can install here also. Frankly, I have not tried the CouchDB. I have tried the Mongo. I have tried the Cassandra. Those 2 have worked perfectly. But I don't see any challenge why CouchDB shouldn't work here. Anything? Okay, great. Then if there are no more questions, then I can end the session now. Again, last time, do you have any questions? So if you says yesterday's video is still not in LMS, frankly, I have uploaded. Our support team should have linked there. That's what they mentioned. But if you don't see that, you can always drop a mail to support. Okay, cool then. Anything else? Perfect. So thanks again everyone for joining. I hope you all had a great time. Hope you all enjoyed, and thanks for providing feedback also. And I hope you all clear the certification soon and share your success story for me at least, because I hope at least I was the founding stone for your Amazon journey. So hope you all enjoyed. Thanks again to everyone for joining this class. Have a great career ahead and best of luck to all of you. You've been a wonderful students for me. It's been a wonderful time for me. Thanks again.